Where's Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes not on that list?
No, not on this list. So you want to talk about my top 5 list? Yes, let's talk about it.
As a young 7-year-old kid, every morning when I would wake up, I would sit on the couch of my Texas apartment with my mom urging me to get ready to go to school with SportsCenter playing on the background. So one could say that growing up with ESPN was a huge part of my life. And it definitely is a huge contributing factor as to why I am the man I am today. I saw what Dan Patrick and Chris Berman and the late great Stuart Scott were doing on camera, and I really envied the fact that those individuals got the opportunity to commentate on sports and give sports analysis as their jobs. And ultimately, as time went on, I found myself in a very similar career path. But as digital media evolved, unfortunately, ESPN did as well. And it's not necessarily in the best way. Before we get to the content, we're giving away $500 to an Instagram follower. All you have to do is be a follower on Instagram, whether you're old or new. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, like I said before, I grew up with ESPN, and to this day, I still have SportsCenter playing in the background sometimes as the day winds down, and I just want to make sure that I got everything in order for the content that I want to produce the next day. But as time progressed on, it seemed like ESPN started to devolve as opposed to evolve, and the rise of new media resulted in some absolutely fantastic journalism going on the internet. Now, I'm not blindly saying that YouTubers are better than ESPN anchors, but I will say there is something refreshing about watching an individual like Pat McAfee be his full unfiltered self while giving you his honest takes on specific things that are happening on the internet. I guess my appreciation for that really came most recently when I saw this absolutely ridiculous take on ESPN's First Take.
Where's Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes not on that list?
No, not on this list. So you want to talk about my top 5 list? Yes, let's talk about it.
Here's the thing, man. There are some times where I make takes that are absolutely incorrect. I mean, geez, I thought the Cincinnati Bengals should have taken Penei Sewell, and I guess some people still think they should have taken Penei Sewell over Jamar Chase. Once Jamar Chase was drafted, you could still go out and see. I made videos saying it's kind of concerning that this man hasn't been able to catch a football in preseason. As a matter of fact, I was so deterred away from him that when I made fantasy football advice videos, I suggested you guys target T. Higgins over Jamar Chase. You see, there are times I get things wrong, but there are never instances where I go out of my way to say something egregiously incorrect just so I could generate social media buzz. We have a big video on Jackson Mahomes coming out soon where we discuss how he essentially tries to leverage negative press into clout, and I feel like that's kind of what ESPN is doing here. Now look, there are some simple truths in the NFL. One, we all unanimously agree that either Tom Brady or Jerry Rice is the greatest football player of all time, depending on which generation you were born in. But it's either one of those two, and most recently people have been saying Tom Brady. Two, I think we could all unanimously agree that Patrick Mahomes is at the very minimum a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And to give you my personal top 5, which I'm sure some people are going to disagree with, but I'm sure no matter what, it's a respectable top 5 that is at least somewhere near where most football fans are currently. The top 3 is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Aaron Rodgers, primarily because I feel like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are ascending and are still getting better and better with each and every year, whereas Aaron Rodgers, we've seen his peak, and what he's doing to prolong his career is remarkable, but for the most part, I'm expecting to see Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen continuing to get even better than what they are, so I'm gonna put them over Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is the defending MVP. You could reasonably put him at the number 1 spot again. And then after that, I have Joe Burrow, which the reason I'm putting him over my number 5, Justin Herbert, is what he was able to do with the offensive line he had was actually pretty impressive. And he's had more postseason success than Justin Herbert. You can make the argument about Justin Herbert's defense, but this is what my top 5 is. I don't think Burrow and Herbert are that far off. I don't think my top 5 is so unreasonable, is what I'm trying to say. But not including Patrick Mahomes in your top 5 is something that would cause me to say, okay, you're not being serious. serious. You're just trying to generate negative press for yourself. And this is where our story actually begins. So Sam Acho comes out and says that Patrick Mahomes is in top 5, which absolutely blows my mind when you do look at his top 5. The man says it's Josh Allen, then Justin Herbert, then Matthew Stafford, over Aaron Rodgers, and then Joe Burrow. I don't even want to begin to discuss the rest of this list, which there's stuff that I really don't agree with, but you could easily tell that if someone is putting Justin Herbert over Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford over Aaron Rodgers, or is avoiding Patrick Mahomes on the top 5 to begin with, he is definitely out there trying to generate some buzz as a result of his absolutely bizarre take. I mean, anyone that saw First Take, if you still watch First Take, probably took to Twitter and said, wow, what a joke. Well, one of those individuals is a man by the name of Doug Gottlieb. I hope I said the name right. Who's most known for his show, The Doug Gottlieb Show, on Fox Sports Radio on the iHeartRadio app. Pretty much another analyst, but he's not on ESPN. So he tweets out something that I think we all agreed on, saying, new show, let's call it Last Take. Haha, get it? Because it's called First Take? Well, an individual that frequently makes appearances on First Take is none other than Emmanuel Acho, a man that I actually have a ton of respect for. I actually think the way he makes his points is very entertaining. He speaks with confidence, he has charisma. That's all you can really ask for in an anchor, especially if he used to play in the NFL. That's a home run of an analyst. Now, Gottlieb continued to say, if you don't think Patrick Mahomes is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football, you probably shouldn't talk about football for a living, or to friends, or to strangers, which I can respect. But Emmanuel Acho, the way he clapped back to defend his brother, you got a real slick mouth for being able to back up on the court and on television, but you gotta pick a struggle, which is kind of a personal attack. I mean, he wasn't going at the person's take. I mean, it seems like Gottlieb didn't have a problem with Acho as a person. He had a problem with the take, which I personally have a problem with the take myself. Now, Gottlieb responded by saying, when you have no defense for your brother's indefensible take, you go at the messenger. And I think Acho kind of further proves Gottlieb's point here, because Acho even admits, my brother's take was trash, but so is your career as a pro athlete and an on-air personality. So we can agree there is trash all around. You keep talking slick on Twitter like you're somebody. Ask Colin Cowherd to take a day off so you can get some airtime again.
Emmanuel just like went personal, said I'm a backup, made fun of the fact that we fill in for Dan or Colin, or as a backup in sports, which, you know, he just went super personal, which I find ironic because he was a backup in the NFL. I don't really even know what you're talking trash about. Just that you're mad that I came at your brother's horrific take. He clearly doesn't like something about me, and so he made it super personal.
So Acho is straight up going at the man's career. Gottlieb said what most people were probably thinking, saying, what a dick, thanks for showing your true colors. And here's the funny part about all this. Emmanuel Acho, before saying the final word, says, we don't all have to agree with each other's sports opinions, but what we will do and can do is respectfully disagree. We tweet things at people we'd never say to their face, as if there's not someone on the other end of the screen receiving those words. Acho then closes this out by saying, I'll take and deliver a bullet from my brother. Don't come for us unless we send for you. Have a good evening, my friend. Which is funny because he tweeted this immediately after saying we don't have to all agree with each other's sports opinions, but we can respectfully disagree. And the top comment on this tweet is literally that. So look, man, I 100% agree that it's really admirable that you're sticking up for your brother. At this point, I don't know if what Doug Gottlieb said was really that horrible, mainly because I do agree with him. You can be the biggest Patrick Mahomes hater, but you have to at least agree that he's a top 5 talent. But I also don't blame Doug Gottlieb for saying what most of us were thinking. Patrick Mahomes at the bare minimum is a top 5 QB. He's my number 1 QB in the league. And yeah, you could disagree with me respectfully saying, yo, Mahomes is a number 1 or my number 2 or even my number 3. He's my number 4. But I guess I'm a little bit more sensitive to this because it feels like recently people are just piggybacking off of Patrick Mahomes and just creating either negative press or stuff that just straight up isn't true about the man just so they could generate clicks. And when Emmanuel Acho's brother was called out about this, his brother didn't even have anything to say about it. Acho just blindly defended his horrible take while calling it a horrible take, which is why I think ESPN is just going out sad, man, because if you get this type of situation mention on any other show, you'll have someone jumping out and saying, hey, whoa, what are you talking about? People will bag on you for saying stuff like that. But I guess a part of me is also thinking that Gottlieb could be a little bit salty that they are on ESPN and he is on Fox Sports Radio. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. I just felt like it was something really interesting to talk about. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.